You ready to make some salsa? Arrow.
We're headed into the garden, and as summer draws to a close, we are neck deep in tomatoes. We plan on taking our Roma tomatoes and turning them into salsa, soups, and sun-dried tomatoes. You'll see how we take a couple baskets of Roma tomatoes and with some salsa science, turn them into a delicious treat that we can reach for in the pantry months down the road.
We're gonna go pick some tomatoes.
Let's go get them.
Well, I like tomato soup and sauce.
Yeah, and you like salsa, right?
Yeah, I like the salsa kind. We don't need green tomatoes, we need red tomatoes.
Yeah. Oh, I see a bunch of red ones.
And I see a bunch of spider webs.
Is that why you're not picking those?
Yeah!
This tiny little spider web.
I don't get it.
What do you mean you don't get it?
Like, I don't want to pick them. I feel like I don't.
I'll go around it. How about that?
That could be too.
Could it be dangerous? Oop.
I like the salsa, but I don't like the salsa with where we add our grown peppers in. I don't.
You mean like spicy salsa?
Yeah, I don't like spicy. It reminds me of the Dragons Love Choco book. Where
Oh,
they
yeah?
hated spicy salsa.
What happens when the dragons eat something spicy?
They we like to eat soup with tomatoes and chili. That's what we do with the tomatoes. We like to eat tomatoes.
Put them in a brown paper bag.
Look at my
Close up the
tomato
brown paper bag and then.
Spider web!
Very cool.
Look at all these tomatoes.
Good job, Ella. Arrow, what are you doing? Arrow can't be in the garden because, like most dogs, he likes to pee on everything.
I tried it.
Get out of the garden. No, get out.
No.
Out. You know where to go. Out. Thank you, buddy. Go play. Yeah.
All right, so it's tomato season, and girls, how often have we been going outside to pick tomatoes?
Every day.
Every day.
What kind of tomatoes did we grow this year? Do you know the name of these?
Red tomato. Girl something with girls. Girl something.
Last year we grew early girls.
Oh, that's what it was.
These are Romas. How many tomato plants are out there?
Like, I don't know.
10, yes! So we're going up there every day and we're getting oodles and oodles of tomatoes. Yep, that's a tomato. Our goal is to hopefully get around I'm gonna say 12 quarts out of this batch. And when I say batch, I mean batch because we'll show you earlier, but we've already processed one of these baskets into sun-dried tomatoes. And for now, here's what we got. We got our basket of tomatoes, and like I said, we already processed a huge basket. It's in the pot. We got some cilantro, onion, pepper. I'd say half of the peppers we're using in tonight's recipe came from our garden.
Onion, lemon, and lemon powder, and this thingy.
Well, this is garlic, right?
Oh.
And, well, what this thingy, right? We're gonna do a little bit of a science lesson later on, or we'll do a little bit of salsa science. Here's how it works. We got the cleaning colander here where Andrea takes a colander full of tomatoes and rinses them off in the sink. From there we have our cutting boards and our cutting station. After the bowl is full, we take them over to the food processor. We blitz them up in the food processor, but we leave them chunky. And then you come on over here, check it out. This is our batch so far. This is a crisper drawer and a basket of tomatoes so far.
Is this wet?
Go, 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 go. It's wet. That's good. That's good. That's good. Just gonna pour this one out, and we're gonna zip it down the middle. This one looks good, so it's gonna go in the pot. And then the trick of this is you have hundreds of tomatoes to process, so don't cut yourself. Try and be as efficient with your time as possible.
Now it's time for
Salsa Science!
Andrea, do you want to give a short spiel on what pH is?
Yes, pH in general is how acidic or basic water is. So it ranges from about 0 to 14, and we want it on the acidic side.
The FDA and a bunch of USDA and agricultural websites recommend that your home canned salsa have a pH of 4.6. You can pause right here to read some important information on how pH can be used to determine which type of canning technique you use. Since our salsa will have a pH of 4.6 or lower, we're going to use the hot water bath canning technique. In order to measure where your salsa is at, you can buy these at-home indicator strips. It's really simple. It looks like a Post-it piece of paper, but on the inside, it gives you a color-coded pH scale. We need to get 4.6 or lower. We're looking for a color of around orange. Orange to, well, honestly, a little bit darker than this strip, in between this strip and orange. We have our salsa scientists at the ready. Our first salsa scientist, Avery. Go ahead. There you go. Excellent work. Okay, so Ella, go ahead and dip that halfway in. Kind of up and down and mix it around.
That's
and
good.
you really don't need to add too much to the tomatoes. The argument is like all the old timers will say, I never added anything into my tomatoes and I'm just fine, right?
That's good.
Well, exactly, because it's just tomatoes, and tomatoes on their own should be acidic enough. It's when you start adding lots and lots of the peppers and the onions and the garlics and all of the other non-acidic vegetables where your pH can start to sort of get out of balance. Right now, it actually kind of looks like we're at 5, right? So even with just the tomatoes, my eyes are saying we're not acidic enough, and they all look the same. We don't have enough lemons, so we're going to be using citric acid. So once we're finished, what we plan on doing is finishing the cook of our salsa and doing another round of our indicators to see where we're at. You ready to make some salsa? Arrow. No, you want to go inside. We have most of our tomatoes processed right now, so now we're going to blitz the rest of the salsa ingredients. We're going to just put it in the food processor and then add it into the big old pot of tomatoes. Onions first. Throw the onions in. Arrow, I dare you to eat that.
I triple dog dare ya!
We're going for kind of like a chunky vibe. Into the pot. For our cilantro, I'm just gonna rip most of it off of the stems. We got our garlic. It smells awesome. Any deer outside, girls?
No, I thought there was deer, but it was just like a tall plant.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
Did you
about
check?
to throw this away.
Now getting some peppers in the mix. We got our tomatoes, our onion, our garlic, our cilantro, and our peppers all in this pot. Just gonna stir it all together. Oh gosh, you know what? No! Salt and pepper. It smells so fresh. It smells so fresh. We have the cilantro coming off the top. Definitely smell those peppers, the garlic, and the onions. Basically, man, you can smell everything in here. This smells pretty awesome. This salsa smells pretty good.
Can I try some?
Well, we gotta cook it first. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this up to a boil and we're gonna cook it for 10 minutes.
Let me see.
I'll lift you up. Look at that.
Whoa, that looked pretty. Remember, did you add pepper?
Yeah, there's lots of peppers in there.
Yay.
To can our salsa, we're going to be using quart jars, the wide mouth jars from Ball. These work really well for us in the past. And they've been, I guess, working well for humanity for many hundreds of years now. The first thing we did was we ran them in the dishwasher. And then next, we're going to, once this water comes up to boil, we're going to put them in the boiling water as well. We got the rings, the lids, the funnel. This is useful for grabbing the jars out of the hot water bath because you're trying to grab a metal ring out of boiling water. And then this little doohickey here has a magnet at the end so you can fish these lids out of your boiling water. We got 2 big pots of finished salsa. It smells and it looks fantastic. We got our hot water bath bubbling away on the
stovetop over there. We got our lids sanitized and ready to rock and roll, and we have our jars sanitized and our funnel ready to go. Our salsa is boiling hot. Oh, the pH. All I did is I added like a tablespoon at a time between checking strips. I added a tablespoon, stirred the pot, checked with the strip. Then I added a little less than a tablespoon, checked with the strip. And I kept on adding until the pH was like right around just below 5. Woo! So check it out. We got a lot of that awesome stock coming off right now. Like we're not gonna throw that away. Last year I used the I think it's called the Johnny Appleseed salsa sieve. I just didn't have the time to do that this year. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That looks good. Into the jar. This is a good chunky salsa, guys. Look at that.
Good
That looks
color.
pretty cool.
Mhm.
Good colors. I just use a chopstick. Kind of get up all the air bubbles out. So we got about 1/2 inch, a little bit more than that, to the top of the jar. Grab a lid. We just take the lid, put it over top. Take one of our clean rings. And there we go. It's ready to go into the hot water bath. Wow, look at how cool that looks. That looks really good. Check it out. It's kind of like, I would take a sip of it now, but it looks a lot like tomato soup. It looks really good.
There's a lot of prep work that goes into canning, but once everything's prepared, it happens pretty quick. You just fill the jars and put them in the hot water bath.
Doesn't that look good?
Looks amazing.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. They've been rolling away in here for about 10 minutes. Now all we gotta do is take them out very carefully. We got 12 quarts of salsa and we got 5 quarts of salsa stock. If you got time, this is definitely, I think, worth it. Pretty cool. Like, that's a whole quart of salsa. That'll last a week, you know what I mean? Arrow, do you like salsa?
He's very.
I think that's a hard no. But he's here for support.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I threw this on the floor.
You threw it on the floor, okay.
No, this.
What does Arrow think you have?
It's a
Cilantro.
thing. It's
Cilantro. Arrow, do you like cilantro?
No, it's mostly I like to put them on the chips that you use for nachos because they're kind of good. Because sometimes I think
No.
What do you like to put your salsa on?
I love chips.
You like
He
salsa
does
on
eat
chips?
He does eat chips.
You do eat chips. You kind of just spit the salsa out though.